Hey, everybody, it's Greg again. It's another edition of Unbreakable podcast. It is Monday, February 23rd. Yikes. Yikes. How about that bizzo? How about that bizzo? Oh my God, here on the East Coast, we get slammed. Although, I live in the suburbs of Philadelphia, and it's kind of, if you could say we're lucky, we were, because we only, quote unquote, got about 10 inches. What's 10 inches? I mean, Philadelphia got like 14. New York City's getting pounded. Boston, as I talk right now, they're getting pounded. So, could be, could be. Um, oh, the weather outside is frightful. Everything you so delightful. And since we don't place to go, let it go. I don't want to say let it snow, let it snow, because I want it to be spring. Damn it. I'm ready, even though I'm all down in Eagles gear tonight. Fly Eagles fly. I want it to be spring. I want it to be baseball. Yesterday, I'm watching the Phillies. They're down in Clearwater, Florida. They're playing the Pittsburgh Pirates. And it's nice down. And Kyle Schwarber hits a Schwarber the first of this season, although it doesn't count. And meanwhile, I'm up here, we're hunkered down in the house, and there's like tons and tons of snow coming in. And I'm watching spring training baseball. Well, the thing is, it's not that far away, you know? I mean, the season starts next month, and I'm thinking about it here as I'm getting encased in snow. And like Memorial Day is only 3 months away. 3 months away. That's like a quarter of the year. It's not that far away. Summertime starts. To show all the pictures on the boardwalk in Jersey Boardwalk. Oh, yeah, like 2 feet down. Two feet. And I was thinking to myself, oh, and by the way, these things, poor reporters, these poor people, they must be pretty low on temper because they send them out there into the middle of a blizzard. And they're out there and the wind is blowing and they're still shaking around. And, you know, it's bad. It's bad. It's a blizzard. And they're out there saying, it's really bad out here. Well, we know that, duh. You just open up the freaking window. We know that. Why do they have to send these people out there? Like Ginger Z. Oh, Ginger Z. Good morning, America. But they stick her out there in the middle of New York City, like in Central Park, and she's getting blown all around. And it's like bad, bad. And she's out there for like 4 hours at a time. I hope they give her coffee or donuts or something just to, does she get a little extra this, a little extra pay in her paycheck for doing that? Anyway, my point is that all that snow on the that we see, what, 3 months, it's going to be Memorial Day. I wanted to say Labor Day, but I caught myself. Memorial Day. And that means the start of summer. You're going to see kids walking up and down the boardwalk holding stuffed animals. You're going to see people eating hot dogs and popcorn, funnel cake, saltwater taffy. And they're going to be sweating. And there's all the shorts. People are going to be wearing shorts. And summer clothes. Going on the beach and getting tans. The seagulls diving down and taking food out of people's mouths and just attacking. You're going to see all of it. And it's not that far away. So have hope, have faith. Even though we're going to Snowmageddon, it's not that far. Summer is not that far away. Damn it. Anyway, so yeah, and if you think about it, it's still February, right? I mean, if we were getting this in the end of March, I'd be more pissed off than I am because then you could say, well, it should be spring. It is spring, technically, and we should be getting. And that's not to say we still can't get a big storm by the end of the month, but I mean, it is winter. It's still winter. Okay, it's still winter, so we can't complain. Anyway, so, but that's the big news, even bigger than the business, is the fact that my book, Stronger Than Bone, is now available in audio. The audio version is out. All you have to do is go to Amazon and order it and to get the regular text version, which is an ebook. You have to read it on your Kindle, tablet, phone, on your PC. And now you can get the audio version. So you can just sit back, relax, close your eyes, and just listen to, not me. I didn't want to. I'm not going to do the audio version. I'm with this voice. Jesus. A guy did it. He's great. He's got one of these golden voices, like John Facenda doing the NFL. Oh, the frozen tundra. Oh, no. And he's really good. He's really good. So you could probably be called. And while you're taking a long drive, maybe you're driving down to the shore this summer. You say, "What are you listen to the book?" Put my story on there. Of course, my story is 8 hours long. It's like a mini series, for God's sakes. 8 hours text. So maybe you're driving across the country or to Florida. Yeah, there you go. Does it take like 8 hours to get to Florida from Pennsylvania? Something like that. Anyone could put my book on, read the whole day and listen to the whole damn thing. That's what you can do. And it's available. So at your service. That's the big, even bigger. So I was telling them, I was watching these things. And of course, the first, they lost the first 2 months. It's a good thing. It's the real. If this is a sign of things to come, I ain't going to. But, it's differences. So last week we started on predictions, baseball predictions. And I'm using a point. If there's one sport that I know better than any other sport, it's baseball. Baseball been very good. Chico Escuela. Baseball been very good. And so we talked about America v. West. And I told you, my prediction is the Seattle Mariners are going to win National West. That's not like big news or anything, because you figure they got the best team, they got the best pitching, they're going to win. But I threw in a little kicker for you there. Not only is Seattle going to win American League West, they're going to win the whole freaking American League. I believe it. I think the Seattle Mariners are going to get into the World Series this year. Now, who are they going to play? I don't know. Probably Godzilla, otherwise known as the Dodgers. I think they play our Phillies, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, okay? And then the other division I think was National League West. And like I said, the Godzilla Dodgers are just going to crush and trample the other teams in their division: San Diego, San Francisco, Colorado, Arizona. They are like the little people in Tokyo, Japan. And Godzilla comes with his big foot and his tail, swish, and away they go. That's this Dodger team. Now, as I said, any anything can happen. I mean, not wishing them anything, God forbid, but Shohei Ohtani could break a leg, right? He could. He could. Um, I mean, they have so many freaking stars. Even if Ohtani breaks a leg, they're still going to win anyway. I mean, come on. They've got Kyle Tucker. They've got Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. They've got the pitching, Blake Snell, Yamamoto. They've got all these guys. And come on. Jesus, it's not fair. It's not fair. Anyway, today I think we're going to do American League Central. And all I got to say about this division is Tigers, 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 Tigers. Mainly because the other teams in the American League Central just ain't good enough to beat the Tigers this year. Cleveland came back. Cleveland, if you remember last year, Cleveland was down 15 games last summer to the Tigers. And Cleveland came back and beat the Tigers. They beat the Tigers at the last week of the season. They beat the Tigers. So, but then the Tigers turned around and beat the Guardians in the playoffs. So, but the Tigers are just too good. But they're going to keep Tarek Scoot. They're not going to just, and they added to the pitching staff Framber, Valdez, and they're just good. The other teams just don't have. Yeah, here's the thing: Cleveland, they can't hit worth a damn. But guess who they picked up over? Okay, my friend and yours, Rhys Hoskins. That's right, Rhys Hoskins, former Philly, former Milwaukee Brewer. We don't get that. Is now with the Cleveland Guardians. He signed on a minor league contract to Cleveland. He'd have to really stink in spring training not to make the team. They brought him on so he could give the Guardians a little right-hand power, which they've been playing on first base and designated hitter. And Rhys could really help that team a lot if he has anything left in the tank. But even with the great Rhys Hoskins on the Guardians, they're not going to do it. Come on. Who's for it, right? Come on. The other teams, Kansas City's got an interesting team. Young team, Bobby Witt Jr., great player. But Bobby Witt Jr., if he gets hurt, they stink. They have nothing else. They didn't really help themselves. Minnesota is a dumpster fire. I mean, they started selling players off last year. And this year, Pablo Lopez, the top pitcher, out for the year. Tommy John surgery. Another top pitcher, Joe Ryan, just has an elbow inflammation. They're not going to be good. Minnesota wins 100 games this year. And you got the Chicago White Sox, or an up-and-coming team. Chicago White Sox have been the laughing stock of baseball for the last few years, but not anymore. These aren't your grandfather's White Sox. They are going to be bad this year. They've got a lot of young players that they're building them in Chicago. So the south side of Chicago. So, but they're not. So I don't see how anybody's going to challenge the Tigers this year in American League Central. If the Tigers pitching in a short series, anything can happen. But you saw what happened last year. Tigers got playoffs. Tarek Scuba, Seattle still being there. Yeah, it happens. So we've got 3 divisions down, 3 more to go. So we got the Mariners, the Dodgers, and the Tigers all going to win their divisions this year. Next time I'm on, we'll talk National League Central. Now we're going to get down pretty soon. National League East. I'll let you know what I think. My Phillies, are going to win the division. Now, I could be a homer and say, oh, yeah, Phillies are going to win 120 games. Blah, 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 blah. No, 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 no. Let me give you my honest opinion whether the Phillies will suck or whether they'll be great. Or maybe they're just going to be so. Anyway, so that was a lot of fun. NFL, there we go. Combines are starting. Okay, at least I don't know, get into it. It's on ESPN. You can watch guys run and jump and leap and then. But it's starting. Yeah, the NFL is like year-round thing. When we just got done with the freaking Super Bowl, and already the combines are starting. And you could have free agency starting. Then you could have the draft, and then mini camps. And then before you know, training camps starting sometime, preseason games. And then right after Labor Day, the NFL season starts again. I love NFL football. I really, really do. But it's amazing how the NFL is just constantly in the news. I mean, you've got all these other teams, all these other leagues. I mean, basketball is back. Who cares? And hockey, now that the Olympics are over. How about that USA team? USA. Although wasn't it kind of weird to have an FBI director in the locker room after the game chugging down beers? To me, I would think he ought to be out there solving crimes. I'm just saying. Um, but how about that UFC team? I didn't want to get into the shit. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it. But I did see on social media clips of the old teams, like the 1980 team. Boy, do I feel old. They had on the men's gold medal hockey team. First gold medal in 46 freaking years since 1980. And boy, do I feel old because I remember that. Like it's yesterday. The game was on. It was on tape delay. Things were different back then. Things were on tape delay. Al Michaels calling the last. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. And Mike Garuzzioni, Jim Craig, and all those guys back from the 80 team when they beat the Russians. That, to me, see, being Canada, I like Canada. I love Canada. I have nothing against Canada. I love Canada. They say there's a rivalry now. To me, that's not a rivalry. The real rivalry was 46 years ago when the Americans played the Russians. It was communists. And they used to call themselves the Red Army, the Russians, the Soviet Union, whatever. And those were like professional players that our players were already like kids, like college kids. And it was like a basketball team with local here, like my community college playing in Duke or something, like David and Goliath. But our American kids stepped up and beat the Ruskies. And I'll never forget how people were dancing in the streets. And just, it was so cool. It was like a fairy tale. That it happened in Lake Placid, right here on the Binghamton soil, in New York. To me, that was much more of a satisfying win, gold medal. But boy, do I feel old because they're saying it was 46 years ago when the Americans won their last gold medal in hockey. And I'm thinking to myself, 46 years ago, wasn't that just yesterday? I remember that. Wasn't that yesterday? Whoa, what the hell? Anyway, so I I don't know. I just wasn't into the mood this year. I don't know. What the heck is wrong with me? I was more of a summer Olympics guy, but I will say one thing. I saw during the Olympics, they brought back a lot of the old Olympians, and I tell you what, I saw that Dorothy Hamill. She had always been a favorite of mine. Dorothy Hamill with that haircut, and she did a spin called the Hamill Camel, you know, and she's America's sweetheart. And I always thought I was going to marry her. I'm happy to marry, but I thought, well, like Dorothy Hamill is like America's sweetheart, you know? Saw a picture of her. She's like 70-ish, maybe a little older, 72. She's still good. I tell you what, Dorothy Hamill, you could park your shoes on the right of any day. Anyway, but it was kind of fun to see all these old Olympians come out again. Yeah, yeah. So I guess that's about it. Well, we're gonna plug away. Hopefully the snow melts. I think we are going to get warmer weather by the end of the week. They're saying by next weekend up into the 50s. Crikey. I'm gonna get my suntan lotion now and start. I'm gonna go naked out of my deck room. And I'm gonna lather up sun reduction. And yeah, I just can't. But you know what? Keep the faith, because baseball's on the horizon. Memorial Day is within reach. And pretty soon, all the snow that you may be going through is just going to be a memory. We'll think about the blizzard of 26, and it'll be a distant memory. And please, if you're out there shoveling, take care of yourself. Don't call this a heart attack snow, because it's very heavy. It's very soaked with moisture, with precipitation. So if you got to do stuff, take it in stages. Don't hurt your back. Use your legs. And don't fill up your shovel with a lot of snow at one time. Just do a little bit at a time. Chip away in, Then take a rest. Chip away. Then take a rest. It's like the old Aesop's fable. Remember that? Steady work wins the race. You had the turtle, the tortoise versus the hare, and they raced. And then rabbit said, I could be right. You know what my hand's tied. Well, and the rabbit, it turns out he runs really fast. I forget how it goes now. But he runs out of gas. And before he crosses the finish line, he's panting. Meanwhile, he got the turtle. Just, consistent. Going, waddling up to the finish line, wins the race. Slow and steady wins the race. And that's what you gotta do with the snow. Okay? Don't have a heart attack with me, for God's sakes. Don't be listening to me in the hospital. Okay? Jesus. So seriously, take care of yourself. And the snow will be a distant memory before you know it. Okay, if you need something, like I said, just give me a call. And, if you need a little something to relax, and if you're in a cabin somewhere and you need a good book to listen to and read until the snow melts, until hibernation occurs, until the thawing begins, don't forget, Stronger Than Bone. You can get it on Amazon, get it on Barnes and Noble. And I appreciate it if you leave a review. And hopefully that'll get you through. Peace and love, everybody. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye.